In 2020, during my first BCD house party in Peterborough, I could get in touch with the world of hand-cut jigsaw puzzles. I saw incredible examples of our French member Jeanette Le Colimaçon or Alexei Morozov, a really talented Russian cutter. And I appreciate to listen the talk and demonstration of cutting a layered jigsaw by TJ Grandpa, alias Terry Walters. I was so fascinated of the different cuts and difficultness in the pieces, but actually I'm collecting series-produced world map puzzles. I don't order individual manufactured unique copies. But then I hear that Terry Walters died in December 2020, and that changed everything to me. Do not have a chance any longer to get a hand-cut jigsaw from him completely changed my mind about having unique treasures of incredible cutters out there. First of all, I started to think about the picture, which world map I like to have. And of course I have some favorites. One of it is the Catalan Atlas. It's a map from 1375 made by the Crescas brothers, and it shows the known world in that time, Europe, Northern Africa and Asia. It is divided into 4 double pages with rare drawings of kings and their journeys, and it was already published as a cardboard jigsaw with 1,000, 3,000 and even 4,000 pieces by the Spanish brand Educam. But they never published the whole atlas with 2 more double pages about cosmography and the calendar system. These 2 pages are so beautiful, illustrated and interesting, and they're a part of the atlas, so I decided to use the Catalan Atlas as my model. While I'm thinking about the segmentation of the atlas, I was wondering if I could use the different parts not only for one cutter, but for more. So 6 double pages for 6 different cutters. Unique puzzles in a unique project, and the journey began. In late January 2021, I put a request about my project at Flickr and invited cutters to participate. Because it was a world map, my aim was to find 6 cutters from 6 different nations worldwide. With some help of my friends at the BCD, I was able to find these 6 cutters. Raúl Barrera, called Senor B, a puzzles workshop from Spain. Jeanette Le Colimaçon de Fos from France. Heather P from Wales. Sorry, but I don't want to pronounce your surname wrong. Shay Carmichael from the United States, Paul Simpson from Canada, and Alexei Morozov from Russia. The first cutters could choose the part of the atlas they preferred. I sent them the picture via email, gave them a fixed measure. It was the half of the original one, and wished them good luck.
The atlas was oriented from the east to the west, from the old China, the former name was Cathay, to the western coast of Europe and northern Africa. For a better viewing and understanding of the geography during the presentation, I made an about face of the map pages. The first part of the Catalan Atlas attends to cosmography, which was chosen by Shay Carmichael. The puzzle with its 250 pieces comes with a black cardboard box and a sweet personalized greeting card. I love the touch of the thick wooden pieces and the smell of the wood. Mostly the picture consists of text, but some graphical depictions too, so I start with these when assembling the jigsaw. At the man's body you can see the perfect line cut and the tight fit of the pieces. After putting together the illustrations, it was time for the text. A few moments later I recognized that the puzzle had trimmed pieces, so it was much easier to build the picture, but sometimes the pieces fit, but not the image. A very smart move from Shay. Step by step, I could finish this beautiful jigsaw puzzle while having lots of fun, even with some tricky parts. The pieces are so neatly cut that it's hard to see any lines. Only the back will show you the different cutting styles. The picture itself shows a tide table, a perpetual calendar, and the figure of a man marked with the signs of the zodiac. The second part was made by the last cutter I found for my project, Paul Simpson. The puzzle has 238 pieces made of a 5-layered plywood. I started with the inside of the calendar, and Paul already gave me the advice that the two parts were cut in different styles. The one side is semi-interlocking and the other one is a line cut. The assembling was so satisfying with the thick wooden pieces. It was amazing, and the different cutting styles made it easier. So it was not a big challenge to finish the inner circles. The text part was tricky, but the perfectly fitting pieces make it pleasant. Paul is the only cutter I know who's doing a frame for the jigsaws and sent them already assembled to his customers. On the white you can see the two different cutting styles. The calendar is such a beautiful part of the atlas. The center represents the Earth, and the blue circles around it show the 7 planets and the sphere's personifications. The zodiacs are illustrated in the yellow circle, framed by the positions and phases of the moon. At the 4 corners of the picture you find the allegories of the 4 seasons. The End of the World, or Finis Terrae, was made by Heather Bridge from Wales. The nearby 400 pieces came separated in 2 small bags and a cardboard box. I was so fascinated of the little fine cut pieces looking like ornaments. Sometimes they remembered me to the cutting style from Chenet Le Colimaçon. Some snails, some hooks. When starting with the puzzle I was like mesmerized, so I forgot to make photos of the first part. The small pieces were definitely a challenge because of the big blue water areas, so I was really focused on that. Heather's cutting style in this puzzle is a mix of interlocking and semi-interlocking pieces with some line cutting. The part she took is the most important and interesting map segment of the Catalan Atlas. It shows the first compass rose depicted on a map. And it's the one and only illustration of the King of Mali, called Mansa Musa, who owns the title World's Richest Person to date. And for all the people doubting that the puzzle is not a British invention, tell them the people in the medieval already knew. The part of the Mediterranean was cut by an outstanding Russian artisan, Alexei Morozov. I had so much luck that he said yes to the project, and the time I had to wait for the puzzle was it totally worth. A first glance in the box and I was in heaven. I saw pieces with curls, twirls and loops and lots of whimsies. Some figure worlds were cut so neatly and delicately that I had feared to touch them. With each single piece I felt the high craftwork and the love Alexei put into this jigsaw puzzle. I gave me lots of time during puzzling to enjoy every single piece. It was incredible. The touch of the wood, the feel of the heavy but smooth pieces, the tight fit. It was overwhelming. The puzzle itself is not a big challenge. Art and relish take center stage. To see the complete map was quite emotional. The Black and the Mediterranean Sea stand out, as well as the mountain range of the Atlas in northern Africa and the Red Sea in the southeast. But the ultimate highlight of the jigsaw is not the map, but the puzzle's bag. Alexei not only cuts whimsies, but colors them with different glazes for a better and noble look. Knights and sultans, figures of fairy tales and legends, or even mythology, as well as pictures of the former everyday life, to the point of Romeo and Juliet. But my favorites are the astronomer and the geographer. The map of Delhi was made by our French PCD member Genet Desfos, alias Le Colimaçon. Genet's puzzles come with a wooden box and a lovely cotton bag. The incredible amount of 580 pieces let you be astonished and wondering how you can solve this puzzle. Through all the tiny pieces, it's hard to find a beginning. I picked up all the blue ones and started with the seas. I went ahead with the brown borders and some figure wheels, but this took me a while. The fine line cut, the small pieces and the push fit make this jigsaw puzzle to the biggest challenge of the Catalan Atlas project. Even small gaps needed time to get filled. The typical prawn mascot of Genet, the snail or Le Colimaçon, must not be missing. After putting the single pictures together, I thought it will be getting easier. What a false conclusion. 12 hours later, the work was done. What an amazing and unique artwork. Temporarily, I felt a kind of intoxication. The map shows lots of interesting places and figure worlds. In geographical aspects, the picture shows the area of Western Asia, including the Caspian and the Arabian Sea. In the northern part, you see a caravan riding along the famous Silk Road. A really funny figure world is the Sultan of Delhi, who is doing a strange gesture. Maybe he wants to tell us that the cutter of this jigsaw must be so crazy to cut such tiny pieces. But the loveliest thing of this jigsaw were the special pieces you can see at the puzzle's back. Genet put not only the snail twice, but my name too. What a great and fabulous idea! The first cutter of my project was Raúl Barrera from Spain. Most of you know him as Senor B. I was in touch with his wife, Maria José, who is an artisan too. The puzzle, each side was separated in a special manufactured box, has an interlocking cut with over 380 pieces made from a 5-layered plywood. A perfectly fitting of the compact interlocking pieces led to a high joy during the assembly. The map has lots of different colored parts, so it was an easy and relaxing puzzling. The jigsaw puzzle was a great start of my cutter's project. The finished map is a feast for the eyes. Lots of the illustrations are based on the travel reports by Marco Polo, like the one that deaf people in this special region were cremated with music and revelry. And it could happen that the wives went also into the fire, but husbands never to their dead wives. The mountains in the center probably show the Himalaya, and the island in the southeast could be Sri Lanka or Sumatra. With each finished part, the atlas raised and transformed itself into a unique and marvelous treasure. Each jigsaw is so outstanding and interesting, and the over 2,000 pieces showing the beauty of this important piece of history, the Catalan Atlas. I'm really proud to own such a gorgeous gem in my map collection. Thanks to all of you who accompanied me during this journey, and my special thanks go to the cutters Shay, Paul, Heather, Jenny, Alexei and Raoul. It was an honor for me to work with such talented people.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I forgot. We are at a BCD house party. So, cheers! Ah, yeah. Now we are ready for puzzling.